Okay. So,
Hello.
this is exciting, Angie, isn't it?
It is exciting.
I feel like I'm taking part in the, I don't know if you ever hear on the BBC or BBC4, I think Radio 4, they have the listening project where they have people coming together for a conversation about all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's just like that, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So I've certainly got the questions in front of me.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're a member of the choir. I think you've been. How long have you been a member of the choir for?
Do you know, I was trying to think about that, and it's longer than I think. I think it's best part of 3 years now.
3 years.
But before, I think it's 3. 1, 2. Yeah, it must be 3. And before that, I first came to Igloo to learn to play the ukulele.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's how I first sort of got here. And that was great because I did ukulele classes for I did the beginners and improvers, but I had 2 problems. One is I couldn't do melodic picking terribly well at all, which is partly my own fault because I'm left-handed and I was playing the ukulele right-handed. So when it came to melodic picking, my right hand didn't want to play, and I didn't persevere enough, I guess. And also, anyway, yeah. So then I'd always wanted to sing. So Dee said, well, you know, have some lessons. So I did. I did her real beginners course. And then joined the choir.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And what, I mean, I've seen the choir perform, but what's involved in being a member of the choir? What sort of things do you do?
Well, we sing our own songs, so our own music. So there's writing and being the sort of, the creative and the creative side, which is a lot of fun. And you actually get to know a lot about people doing that, about the others in the choir. And then we sing in, most of the songs Dee arranges in 2 or 3 parts. And then we obviously then rehearse and sing, and I do VKF and as well, because I need to just keep and have lessons because I just need to keep learning. And then we do performances a bit like the band does for charity gigs, things like that. And our biggest one is Choir Fest, which isn't a charity one per se, but yeah, which is good fun.
Did you kind of take to that like a duck to water, or was it a struggle?
No, it wasn't. It was really, the other members of the choir are lovely. And so, because, I was sort of, I came from a place with singing where I'd been told for many, many years I couldn't sing, and totally believed it. And I still sometimes think I can't, sort of, it's sort of a, not a mental battle that I can, but you know what I mean? It's sort of, can I really do this? And so on. But Dee persuaded me I could. So, and said, join the choir and do it. But from the very first choir practice I walked in and sat in, I just felt comfortable. The other people were lovely. There was no pressure. So no, it was very easy to join.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you get out of being involved with the choir and with Igloo?
The joy of the singing. I guess that has to be the biggest thing. And I enjoy actually learning, about how singing works, how your voice works, if you like, and sort of the vocal side of it. Learning why, why some of the vocal exercises improve and help, and breathing and all the techniques. I enjoy that. And I know by doing that, it improves what I'm singing. So I enjoy doing that a lot. But like all of us, I probably don't do it anything like as much as I should in, the practicing side of it. But yeah, and I enjoy, and it's a strange no, it's not strange. It's lovely. You're sort of singing with other people and producing something you've written and then singing it. It's great. And then singing it, you know, for other people. And I have to say, I do enjoy, you know, sort of, it's been, so, you know, I've been a bit nervous once or twice going to various of the gigs, but, you know, in fairness, very nervous, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's worth doing.
And I guess, as you say, knowing that you're not on your own and you've got the support of the people around.
Oh God, yes. You. I'd never do it on my own. You never get me standing up and singing on my own. You know, I just couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. But singing with other people, and because everyone's incredibly supportive, you know, of each other, and I think that makes a big difference. There's absolutely no competition between us mm-hmm. as to, you know, how we all perform and sing, and we just all look after each other, basically.
Yeah, you always, when I've seen you perform, you always look as if you're enjoying yourselves, which I always think, from an audience point of view, if the performer's doesn't look like they're enjoying themselves, I find it harder to enjoy it, because it doesn't, you know, it seems like there should be that enjoyment there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, and it is meant to be fun. We wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. Yeah. Because we're doing it because we want to be here. And we wouldn't want to be here if we weren't enjoying it. If that makes sense. But we do. It's a very joyous thing, and it is a very, you know, very sort of very supportive, happy group. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about with, you know, we've had this extended lockdown period, and we haven't. I think that we haven't always been able to meet in person and do things. What have you got out of still being involved with the choir despite the lockdown situation?
Well, I think the fact being able to keep singing and seeing everybody is very cohesive. It's a very cohesive thing to see everyone, and also because we all get on and we all know each other, I think it's important that we all are seeing each other and knowing how we all are, because I think there are times when, you know, someone's just struggling more than
you've gone a bit quiet.
Oh, is that better?
That's better. That's it.
Yeah, sorry, that was my fault.
That's okay.
I put my finger over the speaker.
It's easily done.
Yeah, I think, you know, all of us during lockdown have had times when, you know, we've been struggling more than others. Yeah. And I think seeing everybody and singing, because as we know, singing is really good for you. Yeah. So it's uplifting doing it, and just being able to be a bit supportive to other people in the choir has been really important. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's been different. And yes, I know I'm very aware that by singing on Zoom, you have to be really self-disciplined, you know, because, you know, we mute when we're actually singing, because we're all, you know what Zoom's like when you're all slightly at a different time. You just can't have you all, you know, live at the time and unmuted. Yeah. So it's very easy to sit there and think, well, I can just mime or cheat, but actually you don't. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You could sort of, but no, it's I think it's a bit strange to start with, especially if you think there are other people in the house that can hear you. Yeah. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I can shut myself away far enough from, you know, anyone else in the house so they can't. Mm-hmm. I guess the neighbours might hear me if I have the windows open, but you know, that's their problem. That's not fair. I don't mean that. So
it's a bonus to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they can only hear me and not whatever, you know, if there's only one part of a song. I think what on earth is. But no, I think it's been really important, because it does keep you focused as well for the future on what, you know, what we'll be doing. And, you know, and we've had one or two projects going where we wrote a song just before we went into lockdown. So we've been recording that and recording that sort of in sections and sending it in, and that's been put together. So we've actually been productive as well, which is really good. And I think that's helped.
Oh, good. good.
Mind you, it's quite stressful, sort of standing at home, doing, sort of recording a section of a song on your own, and then sort of thinking, oh, it doesn't sound that great. No, it's fine, I'll send it. It's sort of a bit, that's sort of quite stressful. But again, it's something that I think is a good skill to try and learn and do.
Oh, brilliant. And any challenges with the technology? I mean, you said obviously there is that lag with Zoom, but actually kind of getting started, getting it to work. Is it any challenge?
Yeah, no, I know. I found it easy enough to get to work. Wouldn't say I'm an expert at it, but I fortunately haven't had. I know some people have found it harder, but I think most of us have got our heads around it. Fairly easily. I mean, the other evening we were screen sharing with a couple of things, and I managed to sort of almost lose the actual screen where I could see everybody. And I thought, I had no idea where that had gone for a while. But then I thought, well, actually, it doesn't actually matter if I can't see the others while we're doing this, because I actually need to see what I've got on the screen. But that's just me. That was just operator error. So got it back. What about you? Have you struggled with it at all?
No, not really. I mean, I'm involved with another organisation, a public speaking organisation, and we've been on Zoom since March, really, very quickly.
Yeah.
So, we meet every couple of weeks on Zoom, and because I'm quite technically minded, I've got involved with the technical side and help running the meetings and things like that.
Oh, that's good.
So it's been a steep learning curve to get, because we've used some of the additional features, breakouts and things like that.
Okay.
It's been remarkably simple and remarkably reliable. I think that was my worry often, that it would I've had Skype calls and things in the past where they've just been terrible, whereas for the vast majority of people it's worked pretty seamlessly the whole time. I should say at first I think we tried to all rehearse with our microphones unmuted, and that was very off-putting because of the lagging, everybody's slightly out of time, and I thought the sound's absolutely terrible and you're trying to keep the beat and everything. And we quickly worked out that we needed to mute and just have one person play it to get the whole thing.
And you're really having to trust that sort of that everyone's doing everything that should be sort of going on as it should be going on.
And I mean, it's not as I find it not as much fun as face to face.
No.
But it means I keep practicing. I keep meeting with people, as you said. You get the camaraderie, and like you, I think, be honest. If I didn't have that regular fix, if you like, and that regular, I need to practice before the next rehearsal, I wouldn't practice as much. And I took, before I met Igloo, I took lessons from some other schools. But what I found was I just wasn't practicing in between. So I wasn't making really any progress. And I just felt I felt like the dunce of the class kind of thing. There was one lady in particular who did practice and the rest of us didn't.
Oh.
She would almost shame us every time. So having that commitment to the band and the rest of the team has been fantastic.
I think that's right. I think having when there are other people perhaps relying on you isn't quite the way of putting it, but when you're part of a group and every part of that group matters, then you have that more, you feel more responsibility to doing it, and it actually makes you want to do it. And
I mean,
so how did you
sorry,
no, I was going to say, how did you come to Igloo?
Well, I'd never really, I've always loved music in terms of listening to music. But I never thought I was musical at all. I hated music, certainly any type of singing or anything at school. We had a very old-fashioned, traditional music teachers, and never played anything that we were in the slightest bit interested in. And I just thought, no, I can't. I'm just not musical. That's it.
And a bit like me.
And it was only, I'm kind of in my 50s that I suddenly thought, I need to challenge myself. What could I do? And it came to me, well, learn to play a musical instrument. And I thought, well, could I do that? And I think I got a couple of lessons from DL when she was doing stuff over in Portchester, and then they moved over to Havant, and I was living in Bend at the time, so it was a bit too far to go, and so I dropped out of it. And then we moved to Portsmouth, and I went to another school. I went to a couple of sets of beginners group lessons, and actually I did learn a lot of chords, but I just was getting frustrated because I couldn't play anything. I didn't feel I could play anything, and we were just moving on to another tune every week as we were learning some new chords, and I didn't feel as if I could go home and play anything.
Yeah.
Practicing. And then I met DL at a networking event, and she said, "Oh, how are you getting on? Have you done anything with the ukulele?" And I said, "Well, I've given up on it. I'm just, obviously I can't do it." And she said, "Well, why not come in and have a lesson, and I can give you some feedback on where you are." And we did, and she said, "Oh no, you've learned lots of chords and things like that." And she said, "Oh, I reckon within a couple of months you could be in the band." And as soon as she said the word "in the band," my eyes just sort of lit up, and I thought, one of those
this is what I want.
dreams: be with a group or be with a band.
Yeah.
So I've been in with the band now for probably about 2 or 3 years, and it's helped my confidence, it's helped my playing enormously. I just love, when we do a gig or something. Now I do a lot of public speaking where I'm standing in front of an audience, so there is a bit of a ham in me who loves to be on stage, as it were.
Right.
But when I'm speaking, I'm very confident about that. When I started playing music with the ukulele, I wasn't as confident about it. And I remember, I think my first ever gig, I sort of mimed for about 3/4 songs. But now I can play most of them pretty well, I think. And learning to play more complicated bits and things like that. So I really feel I've progressed.
I think that's important, isn't it? That you feel that you are.
Oh, absolutely.
Achieving more and more.
I look back now, and I think how I was sort of 4 years ago, and I can't believe that I'm playing now, and not having to look at the strings for chords and things like that, and I've got a lot of the chord changes memorized and fluency, and I can do a bit of finger picking now and things like that I never thought I'd ever be able to do.
Yeah, it's great.
And, but the nice thing is there's always another challenge. Just when you master one and you think, "Oh, I'm starting to get a bit kind of blasé about this," DL will either give you, or if you ask her, she'll give you something else to challenge you, to bring you on to the next level, which is it's great, and it's great for the mind as well, because it's stimulating. It's great for the brain, particularly during lockdown.
Yeah. So have you taken on any new songs or challenges during lockdown?
Yeah, well, we've been doing some new songs with the band, and I was saying, I'd like to do some more. I wasn't quite sure what the challenge was, and Dee set me a couple of little challenges to do little lead riffs and things like that.
Ooh.
And, just having that challenge, we haven't really performed them yet, but it keeps me practicing, because I want to do that. I want to, so that when it comes to rehearsal and things like that, I can then do that, and kind of, she trusts me to be able to do that, and I feel not obligated, but I feel I need to live up to that challenge, which is great.
But I think it's not that you feel you need to live up to it. You want to live up to it.
I want, yes, absolutely, yes.
And I think that a lot of that is Chris and DL, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it's the way they look after us and they teach us. They are very motivating.
Yeah. I mean, it always feels like a bit, it does really, sounds corny, but it feels like a family. It feels like a real community. And
it does.
We're supported and looked after and challenged, but I never feel like I'm thrown in the deep end with anything. It's a gentle, continuous stretching process to develop our skills. And it's always fun, and we have such a good laugh. I'm sure you do at choir rehearsal.
Absolutely.
It's very entertaining as well.
Yeah, because there are so many different personalities within the choir and within the band, but everybody gets on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just works. It just all molds together.
Yeah.
Yes, and even on lockdown, we've had some very funny evenings Yeah, we had one on Monday. We had, you know, one of the girls was in absolute hysterics, and it's lovely, you know, because it's how it should be, you know, sort of, you know, not obviously for the whole time,
No,
but there should be the opportunity to just really show you're enjoying it and getting pleasure. And
exactly, exactly.
yeah, no, I think we're very fortunate.
Very, very. I mean, I haven't been to many music schools or other groups. So I don't really know. But I mean, even, you know, and I've got interested in the singing a little bit. I've been to VKF a few times, and it started to, you know, to make me think I would like to sing more, because I'll sing along at home to things, and I still don't feel like it, but there is a joy in doing that, and I dare say it'll be a challenge for me in the future to maybe try and do a little bit
Yeah,
more.
it'll be good. You should
go back, and it's sometimes it's just finding the time to do everything.
It is, yeah, and you feel that you want to commit fully if you start doing something.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
It's been a pleasure to chat with you,
and a pleasure to chat with you. And I hope
we didn't manage to talk about camper vans once.